All right, folks. Well, another beautiful day here in Pennsylvania. It's a cold one. It's like 30 degrees out. I was hoping to be out on the kayak fishing. I am in a January slot tournament for catfish. Look at old Hunter here. I actually went out Saturday in my kayak, Saturday evening, and it was pretty brutal. Everything was icing up. It was cold. It was windy. And today it's even worse. It's like 30 degrees. The wind chill is down in the 20s, and the wind where I was gonna fish was supposed to be like 10 to 20 miles per hour. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go hiking with my boy Hunter today. We're actually up on a property that I'm leasing. It's about 75 acres, about an hour from home. And as you can see, we got some snow on the ground. It's actually pretty beautiful looking. I only hunted this property once this year. I just started leasing it this year, and I got it all ready, put all my tree stands up. Opening day archery, I killed a beautiful 10-point. And I also brought my brother-in-law up, and he hunted it, but I didn't really hunt even though I had a doe tag. I just kind of guided him around and was hoping he would get some action. So I haven't really hunted my property that much, but I got a bunch of game cams I haven't even looked at in months. I haven't checked them since October, so they may be dead, but I'm going to collect the game cams, hike around, see if we can find any sheds. Deer are starting to lose their antlers, and just get a little hiking. So I thought I'd bring you guys along today. So let's see what we get into. The camera is here. I think it's dead. Yeah, it looks like it's dead. Yep. So I hung this one around the end of October. I've been having some problems with this camera, with it triggering. Sometimes it just shuts off and doesn't come back on. There's 161 pictures, but I would have expected a lot more. Right here with the corner of this field entrance, I know there's trails that come in here. Here, I'll show you this creek. You might be able to hear it. There's this nice creek it runs through. But deer do come in this way and access this field. But I just don't think this camera has been working as good as it used to. With only 161 pictures over the last few months, usually I'd have a lot more than that, but that's okay. We'll see what it got. So I'm gonna hike to the other end of the field. There's a little funnel area where there's a trail that goes through the valley. It enters another field, it crosses over the creek, and I have a stand and a camera over there. So that one usually has a ton of pictures, and that's a newer camera. So let's hike on over and see what it got. So here's one of my stands up there. It's one of those muddy stands. I love the muddy stands, these portables. So there's the creek, and you can see the deer trail coming down this hill. So the field we just walked through is back that way. So there's this little transition area. There's a bunch of thickets up there. It goes uphill to the road. And then this trail crosses the creek here and it enters more fields. But there's also a trail that goes all the way up to the road this way. And there's almost like a bluff. Once you get up above there, it's right above the creek. So this is kind of a nice funnel area. Many trails that come together. And I have a camera right here. So, wonder if this one's still operating. Well, it doesn't look like it is. Oh, it's still, yeah, it's taking a picture right now. And the battery is like 3/4 full. Wow, that's impressive. This is one of those Wild Game Innovations cameras. I actually got it pretty cheap. I got a pack of them on Amazon. I forget how much they were, but it's a Wild Game Innovations TX14 I8D, whatever. Yeah, this thing's still kicking. So this, I didn't check to see how many pictures are on it, but there might be a ton on there if it's still going. So, all right, let's continue on. All right, me and Hunter are headed up. We got our two cameras, hiked around a couple fields, through the woods, through some thickets. Haven't seen any sheds. There's a couple inches of snow on the ground here, so might be a little tough to find sheds, but we have two more cameras to grab. And we're also going to stop and see the tenants who live on this property. The landowner has 2 tenants, and they're real nice ladies, so I got some venison bologna for them. I'm gonna drop off and say hi to them. But yeah, we'll see if we find anything else interesting as we continue our adventure here today. All right, stick with us. All right, so me and my buddy put this gate in last year. It was a little fun project up on the hunting lease here. We haven't had too many issues with trespassers, especially on this side, but he leases the other side over there for him and his family, and they've had people with 4-wheelers just run through the property quite a few times because there's fields right on the edge of the road, so it's kind of tempting for them. But I haven't got anybody on cam, you know, trespassing this past year. Knock on wood. There's all sorts of wood around me here, but I can't reach on it and knock it. I'll fall if I try to run up that. So knock on wood in my mind. But yeah, I got 2 more cameras on this side. I'm headed towards the stand where I shot my buck opening day, October 3rd, 2020. So I'll show you that stand because I'm gonna hike up through there and see what it's looking like. I haven't been here in months, so it's kind of cool to see it with some snow on the ground. I've never seen it with snow on the ground yet. So all right, let's continue on. The way the snow kind of sits on the pine branches, these pines are pretty, and Hunter's taking a dump next to them. So maybe we'll see some turkeys. There's a ton of turkeys out here too. I haven't turkey hunted it yet. I got the lease in July. Turkey season's in May. So I will definitely be hunting this over the month of May. I could see a rub in there from last year's rut. So yeah, we'll see what we see. So you can see this nice open trail that goes into the woods up here. There's another one right down there. And these kind of widen out as they go around this point of this ridge. I actually used the DR brush cutter to cut this open. It was an old logging trail from many years ago, and hadn't been opened up in a long time. I mean, there was a lot of trees down. A lot of this was all thick stuff you couldn't even walk through. So anybody's looking to get a DR brush cutter, that thing is a beast. Highly recommend it. So you can see where it starts to go in the woods here. It's real nice and open now. And the deer I shot in archery, he was laying on this trail up here. I'll show you once we get there. We got a couple 100 yards to go. So it worked out pretty good. Some deer just ran by. I was late turning the camera on, but there could be more. They ran right across the trail up where Hunter's at. They went down there somewhere. I don't see any more coming. All right, so perfect timing. This is right where the buck was laying. He came down from about 60 yards up there is where my stand's at. He ran down through here. He was laying right on the trail here, right where Hunter's kicking. So it was easy to get him out with this nice new trail here now. So it worked out good. Let's continue. This camera before we head up to look at the tree stand. Here it is right here. It was watching this lower bench. Now this one I had set on video, so I don't know if this will still be live. Card air, so the card must be full. Wow, the battery's at 99%, so I'm guessing this card's full. So you can see these steep hills that drop down. There's a pond down there. We'll go take a look at that later. And then there's a couple trailers down there. When the landowner's in town, he stays there. There's one for his brother who also is out of town. But they have a couple tenants that live in a house down there too. And Hunter's just making some mock scrapes. He's a good mock scrape creator. But there's these two benches go around this point, and it's a lot of pines, but there's also a bunch of oaks up here near my stand. So we're gonna hike up to the stand and I'll show you where I shot my buck from. Okay, we just hiked up. We're about 3/4 of the way up this ridge here. So top of the ridge is right up top there. It's actually open. There's a power line that runs through. So this whole side over here is oaks. Tons of acorns dropping early in the year. And then there's kind of like this soft opening here. It gets a little thick, and then it gets real thick right up here before you get to the power line. And there's just more pines that come up. And so my stand was right on this fringe area. Right up there in this big old pine, which was a really nice spot to sit. It was comfortable, very well hidden. And so you could see I got one ladder, got the lifeline, and then I just climb up branches the rest of the way up. So this is perfect because you're well camouflaged. It's pretty much good for a western wind, although there are trails coming in from every angle. And this is kind of the hub for multiple trails. So I sat here opening day. I wasn't even in my stand for, an hour and a half, and I spotted big antler, big body deer coming up through the pines about 40 yards out. No shot from where I was, but I could see him. I knew he was nice. So I was tempted to grunt, but I thought, you know what, I'm just going to chill and see what he does, because he was feeding on acorns. He was moving nice and slow. He wasn't amped up. And I thought, let's just see what happens. Let's not rush anything. Let's not start grunting and calling like crazy. Let's just play it nice and easy. So as he was kind of coming up this way, I heard movement behind me behind my stand. I couldn't see back there, but I heard movement, so I knew deer were coming. And so he disappears up over here, kind of going that way. And again, I was just like, I'm gonna wait because there are deer coming in behind me. And so sure enough, 4 button bucks come directly under my stand, never sent at me, which was great. And they came right out into this opening. Now I had a licking branch and a mock scrape right here. And they're over here, hopping around, acting like teenagers. And sure enough, he comes back. His head was low. He wasn't totally pissed off, but he was coming in to let these boys know who's boss. And he came straight in at me, and sure enough, he turned and was right there for a nice broadside shot, checking my my scrape and my licking branch. And I had a perfect 15-yard shot, and he ran right down to that area where I said I found him. So I love sharing those stories. I mean, the memories that these hunts create just last forever. So thanks for listening to that. It's one I'll never forget, and now you guys get to see a piece of it, right? So that's the stand there. I only sat in it once, and it was a successful hunt right away. But old Hunter, what do you think, buddy? Want to keep hiking? All right, let's go. So this is the power line that I was telling you about. So my stand's way down that way. These are those oaks that kind of border this power line as well. There's also a bunch of oaks up here that were just dropping massive amounts of acorns this fall. And I do have a stand up here. It's actually the landowner's stand that he had laying in the woods. He hadn't put it up in years, so I threw it up on this oak. I'm not a big fan of ladder stands. I've used them. In fact, one of my biggest bucks ever came out of a ladder stand. But it's kind of open up here. But you do have some nice cover right here. If a deer is coming along the edge of this power line, there's a nice opening for some close shots, even 30-yard shots to the other side. So I put it up here just to have another stand. So that's it. So my other camera's down here, so let's go check that out. Okay, so here is the 4th and final camera on the property. Let's see if this one's still alive. So far, all of them have been Still juiced up. Yeah. This one's still got pictures on it. I can't tell how many pictures from this screen, but the battery is about 50%. So we'll check it out when we get back to the truck. All right. Hey, buddy. Looks like the snow's starting to come down again. It's getting a little windy. So I was going to show you something here. You can see there's some fresh scratching in the woods here, and it's not from Hunter. He did his own scratching up there. But looks like those turkeys for sure. I actually saw some up on the other side of the power line here. There's a lot of turkeys in here, some nice longbeards. In fact, I've seen more longbeards on this property while, you know, getting it ready for archery during the summer, and then also even just spending some time up here in October. I had my brother-in-law in hunting. I saw lots of turkeys and got lots of pictures of them on the game cam, so they are in here. All right, gonna start making our way back to the truck, maybe loop around, check out the pond, see what it's looking like down that way. Still looking for antler sheds and anything else of interest. All right. Okay, so we are walking towards the creek. You can just see how beautiful this trail is. It's nice and open. It leads all the way down to the farm. And in case you're wondering, my old boy Hunter there, he is not a shed hunter. He's a bird dog. Pheasant hunts, waterfowl, grouse. He's even been out squirrel hunting with me, and he's also helped me retrieve a deer. So I shot a really nice buck in 2019 on public land, and I couldn't find him. I lost blood. It was really, really thick and swampy and nasty. And I brought Hunter out. So you're allowed to use dogs in PA now to help locate deer. So I brought Hunter out the next morning, and he got on the trail and led me right to it. I mean, it was amazing. He's never been trained specifically to do that, but a dog is always using their nose. So if they find a unique scent, like a fresh scent of a dead deer, then they'll take you to it if you don't get in the way too much. In fact, I think he would have found it quicker if I didn't try to lead him. I kept trying to tell him which direction to go to, which was a mistake. He actually knew exactly which way to go. And I got him right to where last blood was, and he found that deer. It was amazing. So, all right, we're approaching the pond. Okay, so here's the pond. It is frozen, as you can see. It's pretty big. I'm not sure how frozen it is. Well, hey, Hunter, this way. It's not that frozen. It's just kind of a thick, sloppy, icy mush. But that's it. That's the pond there. So, okay, we're gonna make our way back to the truck and keep our eyes peeled for antlers and wildlife and awesomeness. All right. Such a nice view. Hey, Hunter Bud, what you doing, buddy? He's a good boy. All right, so just checking the camera now. I'm checking the last one we just picked up back here up by the power line, and tons of turkeys, tons of deer, lots of small bucks. But check out this big boy. Big old gnarly buck. Look at those brow tines. So that was kind of cool. That was December 21st. So it looks like he made it through the Pennsylvania rifle. So there's a good chance he's still around. So here he is again. Another angle of him. I don't know if you could see with the glare. That's a nice buck. And that's on the 29th of December. Very cool. Here's a bunch of those turkeys I was telling you about. You can see there's even more up here. So these look mostly like hens, but there is a lot of longbeards back here too. I got some pictures of them somewhere. So there's some of those longbeards. You see those big old beards hanging down. You like them longbeards, boy? Yeah, Hunter's like, I chase him down if I see him. So there's that same big old buck down at one of my other cameras. This was back on November 3rd by that second stand where the creek was. Or actually, it's the second cam, the first stand that I showed you where the creek was. This is right where that buck is showing up as well. Check this out. There's a bobcat. I know it's hard to see with the glare. Hey guys, all right, so I just checked all the cameras, got tons of pictures, a lot of buck pictures, does, bobcats, coyotes, raccoons, turkeys, and only one trespasser, some old guy on a four-wheeler. So I don't know who that was, but that was down by the creek stand there. He came by on a four-wheeler, turned around right in front of the camera. He didn't see the camera, and then he left. But that's about it. So the camera that I had on video mode that said the memory, that said there was no memory when I checked it, that's because the memory was full. There's over 200 videos. So I'm excited to check those out. I checked a few out just to make sure it was working, and it is. So hopefully there's some cool videos on there. I don't usually use the video feature on my game cams, and that one worked out well. It took videos from the end of October up through November 21st or 22nd, I believe. So definitely picked up videos during the rut. So hopefully there's some big old bucks chasing some does on that video. So we'll see. But I'm about to get out of here. The computer's almost dead. It's getting colder. It's starting to snow some more. Old Hunter here is ready to pack it in. So thanks for joining me, and stay tuned for more videos. When this cold weather starts to move out, then I'll definitely be getting some fishing videos, especially on my kayak, so I'm looking forward to that. We're in the dead of winter right now. It's mid-January. It's actually not too bad. Some years it gets really brutal, but it's been kind of mild, so hopefully in another month or so we'll be able to get on the big old river cats, get some of those big old flatheads. So all right, thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you later.
West Side Story.